Peace to the kings and queens. It's your brother Tim Gray here from the Melanated Medicine Podcast. And I want to welcome you back, and I have another feature with one of the people that's in my tribe. People know him. I don't really like him that much, but I just kind of deal with him because, my mama said be nice to your youngins. So my brother is here, my brother Hurricane. Say what's up to the people, my friend. Say what's up to the people. We were just having a conversation off camera, right? Yeah. And the conversation was about meal prep and stuff like that because you know that I'm getting ready to start. Ramadan starts for me in about 3 weeks. And you were talking about how you have to adjust.
I'm starting prep next week because I'm about to compete. So I started adjusting my calories already. I lost like 8 pounds.
That's just rude.
Yeah,
that's just rude.
It's
it's a science. Yeah. So one of the reasons why we have Hurricane here for 2 reasons. One, I actually signed up for his program, right? Because at my age, I still want to make sure that I look good, that I function well, and that my comprehension level is there. So the whole thing about this podcast is not necessarily just about who are you in your business. It's about making sure that we know who we are in the business. Yeah. You know what I mean? The value that we're bringing to somebody else and the things that we want to talk about. Okay. And I thought that would be an important part to mention at the front, because most times when people can get on podcasts or different conversations, they're actually not clients of that person. You know what I mean? So it's a positive thing to, because we had Ja from Harlem Kettlebell, right? Yeah. And I was making sure that he talked about his journey, but the difference between just being a trainer and being performance related. Yes. You know what I mean? So can you give people your who, your what, and your why? Who you are, what you are, why you do it.
You already heard my name earlier. My name is Hurricane. My business is Hurricane Fitness LLC. I'm a fitness coach online. I do it in person. I teach dance and fitness. I own a company called Afrobeat Burnout.
Which you may have seen at the sweat party a couple times.
You've probably seen that sweat party a couple of times. It's more of like working out but having a party at the same time. So I love to dance. I love Afrobeats. It became a thing. We put both together. That's how come we got Afrobeat Burnout. I've had a background with sports. I used to run track, played basketball, played soccer when I was in college, high school. So I pretty much had a good sports background. So that's how I started working out.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I still always use the joke when I talk to him is that most people don't expect him to be 6'3", 240 pounds and dance with the ability that he has. So it's always more fun to watch people shock.
Yes.
it's like, he moves better than I expected.
I went to do a class in Dallas and they called me out as an instructor. Everybody was like confused. Is he the one going to teach the class? Because I'm big as hell. And then the class started and everybody was surprised. And I got a lot of good feedback after that. It was sometimes people don't. A lot of muscle guys don't do a lot of mobility work or anything else aside just lifting weight. Yeah. So they're super stiff, but I do different things. So it helps with my mobility. I come get massages, get adjustments. So all of those things help.
I have to put the part. We have to figure out a way to do this because I don't know how to do it. But we recorded an episode for his YouTube channel.
Yes.
And it was fun because I was showing him the importance of how massage therapy has been a part of bodybuilding for a very, very long time in regards to guys in recovery. Because particularly at your size and mass, people don't think that you would come to do something as important as manual therapy. So we had this video, and it was funny because I recorded. I said, I got to show it to you on purpose because you're not going to believe me. So one side of his chest was completely flat, the side that I did not work on. And then the other side literally looked like a mountain because all the new blood that was inside. And you could hear the, yo!
Yeah, I was surprised. And then even after that, I couldn't even, before certain poses, I couldn't do without cramping up. But after the massage, it felt amazing, bro. Like, it was easy. I wasn't as tight anymore. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. And people need to do that more often.
Well, I just appreciate it because you made sure that it was an important part to show your people that this is something that you do. Because that POV, take a walk with me type of perspective, sometimes it's just a lot of capping. Yeah. People are not really out here showing that they're doing this work. They're just trying to show you the look of the work. So now that you've been training people, dancing with people all this other time, what is something that you're really, really focused on at this stage of your career? You can hear me?
No.
Oh, okay. How about now?
No.
Yeah, you can hear me now.
I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. That was the wrong mic. That was my fault. So what is something that you're focusing on right now at this part of your career? I always like to get people, where are they in the last 6 months or something that they're doing or focusing on? Because your social media popularity is crazy. Like, I actually forget how popular you are because I know you. So it's like,
yes.
So, and then one of my friends looked at you. He's like, well, he's like at like 1 million people. I was like, who?
Over 500,000. We on the way to get. We gotta hit over 1 million this year.
Well, this podcast will help you. We'll do a little judge for you.
And we're gonna put this podcast on. Yeah, I gotta make sure you watch this.
Yeah. So what's something that you're looking forward to?
Right now, the main thing right now is the bodybuilding show, because this is gonna be my first time competing. I never did it before.
Wow.
I've been in the fitness industry for 14, going on 15 years.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of bodybuilding, but I've gotten to a point where I want to do it, add it on my resume as being in the fitness industry. I've tried different things. I want to do marathon sometime next year. So
sure.
I try to do different things in the fitness industry so that you get a little bit of everything.
But you're more well-rounded.
Exactly,
yeah.
more well-rounded. So right now the main thing is winning that pro card natural, 100% natural. No
That's
steroids,
different.
nothing.
That's different.
I'm African.
No
the
TRT.
genes work, and I put in that work.
No, you can't just say you're African. Tell them what country you're from.
I'm from Ghana, born and raised.
Okay.
Born and raised.
So that's a big difference, okay? But because as a person who works with bodybuilders, pro bodybuilders, there's a lot of non-natural ways of performance enhancing that they're doing. It's a part of the industry. So the fact that he emphasized that he's doing these things naturally, I feel even more important to be a part of your recovery, because if you're going to do that much taxing on your body to perform while still running a business. So I want to make sure that we're clear about that, because a lot of people can aesthetically look good, but a lot of their muscles not performance related.
Yes.
True. So moving around and having the ability to recover.
Training clients, doing everything, and it's not like I'm taking a break. I'm still doing this, managing it in a way where I still get my workouts in, get my cardio in, get my nutrition in. Starting next week, I'm going to be eating like 3,000 calories on that. Everything is calculated. 6 meals a day. I structure my day, makes it super easy. So,
well, tell me something. If you're at 3,000, what is your normal when you're not?
35 to 4,000 calories, sometimes 38, 37, sometimes 4,000
So
calories.
it's still, but that's just still a big caloric deficit.
Right now, I'm doing like usually when I'm at a highest, or I cut down to 3,500 last year. So right now, that's why I'm going back down to 3,000. I'm adjusting slowly. So my body responds. I can't just go from 4,000 and go to 3,000. Your body's not going to respond very good.
This is something that's important for people, because even just the other day, this is a real thing. I had a friend of mine who reached out to me, sharing me her workout plan that she got from a trainer that she's with. And yes, I am a certified personal trainer, but I'm not a trainer. I did it for the same reason why you're doing bodybuilding, is because it makes me more relatable, and I also like the mental challenge of knowing something. Yeah. So I text him. I said, can you please just take a look at this, because I don't like it, but I want to make sure that my suspicions of why I don't like it.
And you were right, because all the stuff that I saw in there, I'm like, and prescribing all these supplements that is not needed when you could actually give the person food. It's an average person that wants to lose weight. Yeah, giving them all these, sometimes supplements are supposed to help you get the results you want, but it shouldn't be the end all be all. Right. You can teach the person to learn how to eat properly so they can manage their weight. If you're giving them supplements, they can't take that for a long period of time. Let's say, okay, they'll lose the weight in the next 2 months. They stop taking the supplements. If they don't learn how to eat and change their habits, they're going to gain the weight back again. Yeah.
Because your habits are still going to be the things that are going to dictate the result.
It's just that lately the fitness industry has less requirements, so everybody is a trainer. Somebody works out, get in shape. Oh, I can help you lose weight. Just because you're able to build muscle, don't mean you can help person A or person B build muscle. Yeah. Because you don't know what their fitness goal is. You don't know what their blood type is. You don't know how their nutrition is, their allergy rate. You can't just their injury history. You don't know if the person has, let's say, lower back pain, and you just prescribe a bent over rolls. Yeah, and the person can exasperate their issue. Exactly. Yep. So there's a lot of people that are selling programs to people that don't have the credentials to be doing that, but because they build a platform from themselves, people just go with it. It's
an important part that we share that part of this industry, because there's a fundamental difference between the way you train and even what Ja does. Like, you know, Ja's I'm using him as a reference because he was just on the pod, but being able to, for me, I've trained with Ja, but I called you to do my programming. Yes. You know what I mean? Because it was a particular type of aesthetic that I'm trying to attain.
Because Ja's training is more performance and a lot of movements. And with your age and certain things, certain movements they do, carrying a lot of that stuff that they do, you're not going to be able to do it. So it wouldn't be realistic to be able to get results that way.
Right.
So that's why it comes down to like knowing who the client is and what their goal is and what their history is, so you could actually give them something to be able to get the results you're looking for.
It's just such a big thing because the perception of what is actually work and what is performance, meaning what I'm not just talking about the trainers, but the perspective that people have that they can download something or they can put it in ChatGPT or DeepSeek and these types of things. And we're selling people on what a person looks like rather than how much they actually understand.
Yes.
Because the same way you may look at personal training or online training, there's an aesthetic of understanding, right? Yeah. I look at it the same way when I see everybody who can just buy a massage table, right? So just that.
Around, you remember?
You can tell them.
Around 2021, all these massage people that came on social media, massaging people and naked and oh my God.
It scares me. It scares me because there's a joke that I saw, even using the fact that we're on a podcast right now. The joke was, when will we make podcast equipment expensive again? And because it made the barrier of entry was higher.
Yeah.
So when anyone can do anything at any time, they take liberties because you didn't earn anything associated to it. Yes. And so when I saw, I used to get very, very upset when I would see. This is what I saw. A young man, usually of a black man generally, having a massage table and over-sexualizing a skill set that took me a very long time to get good at. It took me a long time to get licensed in, to continue my licensing, because you have to have continuing education. As a massage therapist, you have to have at least 36 hours of continuing education every 3 years. So knowing that something was accessible because of Amazon, and because people have gotten addicted to seeing something rather than it being validable, they were knowingly or unknowingly over-sexualizing black women. And my friend was like, nah, this is the way I do it. No, you're just not used to being checked on something. Because I come from the demographic and the history that you couldn't say you was about something unless you proved it, right? And maybe I was a little bit too aggressive because some of those dudes, we kind of had a little bit of a back and forth. And I was like, I told myself I went about it the wrong way. So instead of saying, hey, you shouldn't do that, because he's looking at me as an older guy coming at him saying, oh, this is just the way I do it. I was like, how can I help you? Mm-hmm. Tell me what you need as a person who's been doing it this long. Let me be your vet.
And sometimes they don't understand why they don't get certain clients coming to them. Yeah, you could get people seeing you on Instagram and pay you for, let's say, 30 minutes so you could touch up on them. Mm-hmm. But the high-paying clients that don't want to be put on social media and don't want to be recorded, those are the people that pay you the big bucks. That's how you make the money.
Well, that's the real money.
And that's how you get quality clients that will stay with you for a longer period of time as compared to just somebody seeing you off IG. Yeah. They want to get a massage, they'll come up. I could be a massage therapist, buy me a bench, and just have shirt off, start massaging.
He usually does the peck pop thing when he's doing the class and everything. So that's why that's 10 times funnier. But it's because I could assume that it's safe to assume that you can go through that, because when you're looking at something, when people look at the type of following that you have, the clients that you've had, or a version of success that they've assumed, that it just, I'm just going to work out in the gym, do this, and I'm going to post it. I don't really have to prove it, because there's a very important part for health. And the premise about this podcast is that we want people who are validable, but the number one word is integrity.
Integrity is key.
Because you have to care about the people who you're helping more than you care about yourself.
Yes.
It's a form of service. You know what I mean? So helping people heal is not a casual thing. It's a real thing, because they're putting the trust of their life in your hands.
People have been fighting years to lose, let's say, 15, 20 pounds. Yeah. And they could never be consistent to lose that weight. Once you help them change their habits, and they lose that weight and keep it off, is a completely different feeling.
But it changes their life because it adds a different value system, right? When you're able to start seeing yourself. I've seen this from, I've had clients that I've had them pre-pregnancy, during their pregnancy, and post. And, watching the moms go from, I'm outside with my girls for brunch, to, oh my God, I have my pregnancy glow, to now the baby's out, and what am I doing with this weight? Yeah. I was like, what do you mean what are you doing with this weight? This is like grown woman weight. What are you talking about? But because of the world's view, you're supposed to have this immediate snapback.
I just blame social media is a blessing and a curse. Sure. Because if you use it the right way, you can make money from it. You could be successful. But it also has is affecting a lot of things in our community.
For sure.
When it comes to whatever it is, business, relationship, whatever it is, because that's why people talk about podcast equipment is cheap now, because everybody is a relationship expert.
And they don't have not one gray hair.
Exactly.
Not one.
And some of these people are talking about relationship, don't even have a relationship or haven't had a long-term relationship.
Agreed.
So social media is also one of the main things that I would blame, especially like a lot of these young kids. You get kids come home before you come with your book and your pen and your paper. Now kids are looking on computer trying to find ChatGPT to do their homework.
Right.
Yes, everything, all these upgrades and all these things happening is changing us in a good and a bad way.
Yeah.
So you got to choose what route you're going with.
Well, this is an important part to share of the pod, is that the information, knowing where you're getting your resources from, a good resource is not there to make it easier. Yeah. The resource is there to give you information. Mm-hmm. And when you take that information and you apply it consistently, then the result has a tendency to happen from that.
Yes.
You know, like even I got upset because I was on our training program and then my back was just like, I have 4 herniated discs from years of being active, being a football player, baseball, all these other things, lifting weights. I remember the beautiful days of just walking into the gym and squatting 315 with no warm up. And that's very stupid, by the way. Don't do that.
Don't do that, kids.
But the benefit is I focus more about my mobility and stuff like that and my strength. So when I had to take that week off, that was psychologically dramatic for me.
Yeah, because you've been able to build those habits and been doing it consistently now. And your strength is changing, your energy is changing. It's getting back. You're getting stronger again. You're losing weight.
Yeah, I know you see it. I know you see it. I'm just saying, son. I'm outside, baby.
How many pounds we down now?
Right now, from when we first started to now, I would say I'm down probably 11 pounds.
Yeah, and it's been like 3.5 months or so, almost 4. Yeah.
Almost 4. Almost 4,
yeah.
And it's about to drop again, which is the part that I want to mention.
You're about to start fasting.
I'm about to start fasting for Ramadan. So, you know, I have to, and this is something that's important. When you have lifestyle changes, it's important to have a base person that you can talk to about those adjustments.
Yes.
Do me a favor. Tell me something that you're going to have me adjust coming in the next 3 weeks, knowing that Ramadan is coming. What is something that you want me to focus on? This is the first time I'm hearing this, by the way.
The main thing is we're going to schedule your meals around the time you break your fast before you start your fast. So everything is going to fit into your routine you're already doing.
Okay.
Your output might not be as much because you're eating less calories because you're only eating a couple of meals.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be doing a lot of heavy loads and stuff like that. Just try to get more movement, get more steps in. We can switch around your whole training program to get you to be active and not be in the gym killing yourself even though you're fasting.
Although I'm still a monster and shit. But I wanted to make sure that's mentioned because you have to adjust your food, your load, your activity based upon what your goals are. And a lot of us don't actually have a clarity about what the goal is.
Yep.
You know, it's easier to hit the target that you know what you're going for.
A plan without a goal, there's this quote. If you don't plan to... Oh, I forgot the quote.
Plan to fail?
Yes.
Yes.
Hold
on. We have studio artists. What would you say?
Yes, if you
fan to plan, you fan to fail.
Exactly. So if you're not planning and adjusting these things based on your goals and what you're trying to achieve, then you'll be stagnant for a long time and not get to where you want to get to.
I want to give you a comparison. I'll ask you a question. So when clients come to me and they're telling me about their issues or something, I usually have a top 3 that they're usually not doing that's probably exasperating the issue that they're asking me a question about. I'm going to tell you my 3 and you give me what your 3 is. The number one thing is like, all right, Tim, I have lower back pain. I'm like, well, when your pain starts irritating you, do you move? What are you usually doing when you feel it? Usually they're sitting, right? And I remind people that there are only 2 groups of people in the world that never have suffered from back pain. Does anybody know what that is?
Groups of people?
There's only 2 groups of people from a regional perspective that have never complained about back pain.
I think you told me that last time. Asians?
Asian is one, and Indian. So Southeast Asian. So say again, because when they sit in chairs, they squat. They don't usually sit in a chair. They usually will sit in a squatted position. Yeah. So the hips stay open and your body doesn't have an opportunity to tighten up because it's always like if we act like children, how children sit, your body will be fine for the foreseeable future. So number 1 is mobility. 2, the second thing, they'll say, well, Tim, I came to you because I don't feel good enough. My body's aching. I said, no, how did you sleep?
Sleep is key.
And he was like, what do you mean? I went to sleep. I said, yeah, but when you fell asleep, did you rest? Just because you're asleep, that doesn't mean that your body's at rest.
To your point, that you're just making right now. Just a couple of days ago.
To the mic.
Just a couple of days ago, I was tracking my sleep. So I kept my watch on when I went to sleep. I slept for like 7 hours. I found out I was in deep sleep for only 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because I was tossing and turning the whole time. So just because you're laying down doesn't mean you're getting the actual proper rest.
That's right.
So make sure you however you could fall asleep into a deep, if it's
You have to prioritize.
Dark,
You have to prioritize.
yeah. Turn all the lights off. Everybody's different.
And here's the third one. I ask about their relationships. Not your direct relation like your lover or your husband or wife. I asked about the relationship. They're like, what do you mean? I said, the things that are around you sensorily affect your body. Human beings are giant plants. So if you put a plant in a room that's dark and cold, it doesn't have a tendency to flourish. If you put your plant in a room where you actually play music and you talk to it, it's a living organism. I said, so the things that are around you because you're a living organism will have a direct effect on your body.
Yes.
And people miss that part. So what are 3 things that you usually go as a fail-safe to ask people when they're telling you about an issue?
First thing, everybody wants to lose that belly fat.
Yeah.
That's the most questions I get every day, like at least 50 times. People ask you, how can I lose my belly fat? The first thing when a client comes to me, I'm like, okay, how is your nutrition like? Because a lot of times they're like, oh, I don't eat much, but are you tracking your calories? How much calories are you getting? Because you say you don't eat much, but they'll go get a whole, they'll get in fast food and all these, I had a burger and this and that. You have a burger, Coke, fries, all of that. By the time you're done, that's like 1,300 calories.
That's crazy.
Almost 1,400 calories.
Of things that are completely processed.
Their first drink of the day is coffee. It's a tall glass of Starbucks coffee with sugar.
In a Stanley cup.
Exactly. Sipping it all day and say, I only had 2 meals. But that coffee alone was like 1,000 calories with all the milk and sugar that was put in it.
Sugar, all those extra.
So once you ask them, okay, write the things that you eat down, then they start writing everything down. You tell, okay, this is this much, this is this much. So that's why you're not losing weight, because you're still in the surplus. You think you only ate 2 meals, but each meal is over 1,500 calories because it's fast food.
So half the time the person is doing that, or the opposite side, which is something that I want you to confirm or deny, that can you majority of the people who you get are usually women, yeah?
Yes.
All right, so the biggest thing that they'll do is this term that they'll like to say, intermediate fasting, right? Yes. And I said, no, that's not intermediate fasting. You're just not eating.
Yes. So when you intermittent fast, it's usually between an hour frame. So they say, okay, I'm fasting from like all morning till 12. I eat between 12 and 8. Yeah. And then they'll think, okay, just because I'm fasting, I'm losing weight. But within that 12 and 8, they have 3-4 meals within that 12 and 8. If you have spread it out the whole day, it's the same amount of meals you're eating. So just because you're fasting don't mean you're going to lose weight. Yeah. The only thing that, in a way, it helps is because if you're fasting, you limit the amount of food that you eat. So you eat less. So that makes you lose the weight.
So you stay in a caloric deficit.
Exactly. So you stay in a caloric deficit. So it doesn't matter if you're doing keto, you're doing paleo, whatever diet, vegan, whatever diet. If you're trying to lose weight, you have to be in a deficit. Understand that. Figure out how much calories you burn in your total daily expenditure. Subtract 300 to 500 calories from that. Start eating that. Track that for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. See how your body responds. Then you adjust slowly as you go. Don't say, okay, I'm going to start eating 1,200 calories because some Instagram model said they only eat 1,200 calories and go to Pilates, and you just do the same thing. And no, it don't work like that.
Fortunately, it doesn't work that way, because if it did, that means you would think that you have a magic pill, and that thing does not apply at all. What is something that so we know we have your show coming up that you're preparing for.
And this weekend, too, I'm going to Miami to do a class with Gymshark. I'm doing Afrobeat Burnout. I'm bringing it to a Gymshark event. So
that's huge. Yes, come on. All right. So I just want you to make sure that you're also just wearing some Afrobeat Burnout merch when you're doing that, because Gymshark is going to want you to wear Gymshark.
I'm actually doing it. When I get there, they have the printer, so they're going to put Afrobeat.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
And then they'll have their...
I'm sorry. This is still the Melanated Medicine Podcast.
Now we got to rep the brand.
Okay,
we got to rep our brand.
Gymshark, whatever, but it better say Afrobeat Burnout on that. Okay.
We still have that personal brand we got to hold down.
Okay, so that's pretty big. Are you going by yourself?
Yes, I'm going by myself.
This is big, man.
Yeah, it's big.
How many people are you expecting in there?
Usually when they do these events, there's a lot of people. So they have a set space, a different stage. Yeah. They do the class. I think it might be almost 50 to 100 people. I don't know.
That's going to be perfect. Or when that music starts, they're going to be wondering what's happening. You get more people in there. Okay, so we have those two major things. What's one other thing that you're doing for you? What are you proud of that you're about to accomplish?
business-wise, because
life, business, whatever.
Business-wise is because I was just a kid from Africa. I was born and raised in Africa. I went to school. I actually have a bachelor's degree in business administration. A lot of people don't know that.
But I prefer for you to make sure that they let you know that
yes.
you're not just a body, you're an educated man.
I'm not just a bodybuilder. Sometimes people are like, how he speaks so fluently. I mean, I went to college. I have a bachelor's degree. I'm not just a gym head.
Yeah.
That's just in the gym all day. I have all these things in place. I get certified every 2 years as a trainer. So I do read books, learn. So like starting fitness from Ghana, I used to go to people's rooms to just chase them to come and do boot camp. One thing about being in Africa, a lot of people walk a lot. People don't have access to cars and a lot of fast food. So the food is also doesn't have a lot of GMO, a lot of things added to it.
It's not preserved.
So it's not a lot of people overweight or need help losing weight. Because a lot of people move a lot and walk a lot.
Well, their caloric deficit is always higher. They're eating one single source ingredient.
Yeah.
So the probability, like when I went last year, when I told you I was in Kenya, and I was just like, the amount of people that I saw walking, and I'm talking about miles, bro.
It's not like some short walk. It's miles. It's not like 5 blocks, 10 blocks.
They were walking from the city to Brooklyn every day. I'm not even joking. So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
We used to do that when I was back home when we were kids. We used to walk miles to go to school, and then when school is done, you walk back home.
Yeah.
So
that's
you
the reason why none of y'all were fat.
Yeah. So business wise, when I started coming here, and then I had family I used to visit, I started doing a couple of boot camps in the park. By the Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
I did boot camp Macomb Dam Bridge.
Shout out to Quincy.
Yeah. And since then, it just picked up. So that's how my brand started in the U.S. I started doing boot camps in the park, and then it just took off from there.
So a thought became a thing became a passion.
I was doing the fitness back home when I was in college, when I was going to school. I was doing training on the side. I used to do free boot camps outside and provide them snacks and everything. I would chase people to come work out because nobody wants to work out.
Well, that's the biggest thing that I don't want you to skip over the fact he gave it away.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to love it enough that you're willing to do it for free.
Yeah. If you're sometimes, okay, let's say you go into a place where nobody knows you and they don't know you. Why would they pay for a class? But if you give them the experience, now they know who you are and they know what it's worth. So they'll be willing to pay to bring you back and make that money off of it.
That's called the ROIs, return on your investment.
On your investment.
Yes.
Don't be scared to do certain things free because you might get a big return from that.
And people appreciate you when you appreciate them. Right?
Yes.
Well, I would seriously, we'll have you back because we got to go do his massage because this is his recovery day. So he likes to come.
Recovery day.
So, any parting notes that you would like to leave the people about what you're doing, what your business is, and everything else like that?
Check out my businesses. You can find me on social media, Hurricane_GH on all social media platforms, or check out my Afrobeat class, Afrobeat Burnout. We're gonna be in Miami this weekend. YouTube, whatever platform, we're trying to be more consistent with the content and give you everything that we can. So don't forget to support and make sure you check out this podcast on a consistent basis because you're going to be seeing amazing people coming on here.
The best part about this, I can say his content, it looks great. So visually, you're going to get a very good bang for your buck when you look at the content, and it's very informative with detail. So that's something I want to shake your hand again, my brother. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Peace to the kings and queens. We're going to be out right now. We'll see you on the next episode. All right. I love you all. Be kind to yourself and others. And I'll see you. And we out.